Under
the stars, they share a little bite. Yeah. Captain Kira and Funky Bones feeling right. With every step, the friendship grows. Funky connection. Everybody knows now every night when the moon is high. Kira's in the yard, Funky Bones nearby. They share a moment in the cool night air. Funky kind of magic only they can share. Funky Bones, Funky Bones, don't you hide. Kira's got the apples open wide. Share a moment in the cool night air. A funky kind of magic only they can share.
Little gray luncheon on the hay, chewing, skipping, never stays. Backyard wild, gotta play, jumping, running every day. Grass is green under the sky, little gray lets it all fly. Muddy paws, you don't care why, wings of earth, he is so high. Freedom in his furry flight, sun and moon his only guide. No more walls, no cage inside, little gray so wild inside. Boss and grind, he's on the move, no one's rules, he's got his groove. Nature's beat, he feels the soothe, little gray always to prove. Under stars, under dreams, world ain't small, so it seems. Little gray's got big schemes, life rolls on in flowing streams. Hay for breakfast, sun for noon, stars and moonlight come so soon. Little gray under night's tune, backyard life's a wild cartoon.
Teeny scrappy rabbit on a naughty spree. Bananas from Capits in Korea, quick to flee. Teasing sisters jumping wild and free. Leapfrogging over Posh spice, too stealthy for me. Cookie bags crumble, Teeny hears a call. Ears twitch, nose sniff, eats it all. Planters sitting, feeling 10 feet tall. Life's a grand adventure, loving it all. Tiny eyes glinting, always on the prowl. Moving through the shadows, stealthy as an owl. Captain Stash pilfered, making her scowl. Teeny's got agility, swift as a howl. Cookie bags crumble, Teeny hears a call. Ears twitch, nose sniff, eats it all. Planters sitting, feeling 10 feet tall. Life's a grand adventure, loving it all. Few tons of playgrounds, Teeny roams at night. Feasting on treasures hidden out of sight. Teasing Posh spice, leaving her in plight. Adventures in the moonlight, bunny delight. Captain's fast, but Teeny never slow. Running through hay mangers, nimbly on tiptoe. Heartbeats wild and on the show. Teeny's grand adventure, give her a toy. treasures hidden out of sight. Teas in Posh spice, leaving her in plight. Adventures in the moonlight, bunny delight. Captain's fast but teeny never slow, running through hay mangers nimbly on tiptoe. Heart beats wild in on the show. Teeny's grand adventure, give her a toy. Give her a toy. Teeny's grand adventure, loving it all.
Dusty the rabbit, all covered in hay, building her nest like it's time to play. Big floppy ears and a mischievous twitch. In the yard, she's always digging a ditch. She sneaks through with a hop and a skip, eyes wide open, just looking for a trip. Suspicious, she is not denying that fact. Playful trickster, always up to some act. Dusty, Dusty, where have you been? Rolling in the hay, making everything green. Dusty, Dusty, always so sly, with your floppy ears reaching for the sky. She cuddles in the sun just for a snooze, dreaming about the way she can build a nest. Her fluffy tail wiggles when she's on the go. Naughty little Dusty, always stealing the show. She's a Flemish giant with a heart so bold. Every story about her just has to be told. Dusty the rabbit, always in the know, running in circles with a gleeful glow. Dusty, Dusty, where have you been? Rolling in the hay, making everything green. Dusty, Dusty, always so sly, with your floppy ears reaching for the sky. She's a Flemish giant with a heart so bold. Every story about her just has to be told. Dusty the rabbit, always in the know, running in circles with a gleeful glow. Dusty, Dusty, where have you been? Rolling in the hay, making everything green. Dusty, Dusty, always so sly, with your floppy ears reaching for the sky. She cuddles in the sun just for a snooze, dreaming about the ways she can build a nest. Her fluffy tail wiggles when she's on the go. Naughty little Dusty, always stealing the show.
Donkey the rabbit munching cookies all night. Sugar Rush plays in a crazy delight. Nibbling faces in a frenzied haze. his cookie craze. He hops through chaos in the midnight dark, cookies in his paws, leaving a sweet mark. Face is bitten with a playful bite. Donkey's world, a funny sight. Donkey the rabbit, sugar in his veins. Nibble on your face, crunching all remains. Cookies crumble, falling to the floor. Donkey want more, can't ignore. Chasing shadows under the moon's bright glare. Cookies his obsession like he don't care. Friends watch in shock as he takes a bite. Donkey's love for cookies just feels right. He grins, mischievous eyes so wild. The chaos around him driving friends mild. Cookies drop, crumbs scatter in the bush. Donkey's cookie craze never will hush. Bite mark stories on furry cheeks. Donkey the rabbit at his cookie peak. Friends band together, a loving chase. Donkey's cookie craze never will hush. Shingle face, nibble pace. Donkey the rabbit, but sugar in his veins. Nibble on your face, nibble on your face. Cookies come, big bugger falling to the floor. Donkey want more, can't ignore. Plans ignore. Donkey want more, can't ignore. Cookie muncher, he can never get enough cookies. He never stops. Eat the cookie, he's a cookie cat. Donkey the rabbit, the cookie muncher, he can never get enough cookies. He never stops eating, 'cause he's a cookie cat. In a kingdom far away, there's a princess named Kira, with beautiful brown locks and eyes that sparkle. Every day at twilight, she dances through the meadow, with bunnies by her side as the sun starts to its
retire. One bunny turned to two, and two turned to a dozen. But Captain Kira's heart's forever filled with love. Her kingdom now enchanted, a ballet of soft footsteps, magical melodies carried on wings of a dove. Ballerina princess, her bunny's by your side, a twirl and a pirouette as dreams come alive. Captain Kira dances, her heart so full of bliss, in a world enchanted where love will always persist.
Who did I find? Sluggo. You gotta go back in, buddy. It's time for the stream. Come on, Mr. Gwynch, you need to go back in too. And Dusty. Oh, Dusty's all the way downstairs. Come on, Dusty. Oh my goodness, you guys. I have the artwork, the actual artwork from Kristen, Cheyenne, Star, Triple R ranch dressing. I have it all right here. Is everyone? Cheeks, my cheeks, or dog. Cookies for dog. Oh, yeah, we got Sluggy Pants. Everyone is super hungry. Oh, Delphine, why do you have someone's fur on your face? Oh my, that's not a good sign. Wait, want to hear my intro? Now awaiting the presence of the wonderful Captain Kira, Queen of the Bunz. Thank you, darling. Thank you, darling. You guys, speaking of funky bones, now awaiting the delightful human mall, the mighty giant Bunz power lifter. Oh, this is so great. Out with the bros. Someone beyond. Okay, have fun with the bros. That's good. That's fun. Whoopsie, I just almost reported someone. I don't know why. Wait, why does it look so dark? Oh, I think the cameras are not refreshed. Oh dear. We need to, well, just pay attention to the my camera's speed. I can fix that. Maybe I should. The fence panels, how you have them now. I must say I really like the you. Mustard. Oh, Kristen Cheyenne Star. She tortured me at church tonight, you guys, with all of her talk of mustard. Okay, but you know what? First things first. I'm gonna put the chat down for a second because look at this. Look at this group. They are starving like Marvin. They are okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Boys side gang. Boys side gang. Let's come on in. Let's come on in, boys side gang. Yes, you too, Sluggy Pants. No, Sluggo, sweetheart. That's the wrong way. The wrong way. Baby boy, baby boy. Oh, look, he's so intelligent. He figured it out. That's what we want from big baby boys named Sluggy Pants. Hey, Gwynnie, you like that? Whoopsie, we're here. Donkey, do you wanna? I'm gonna give you those. All right. All right, you can have those. Oh my goodness. And then we got girl side gang. I'm just gonna feed you from this side because it's easier. And I have a little red pepper for my pretty Delphine because I'm trying to give her lots of vitamin C antioxidant. We've got, oh, donkers. Here, donkeys, we're gonna give you we're gonna give you dandelions. And we're gonna give you more dandelions. Oh, yes, we are. But yeah, Kristen Cheyenne Star, she was putting mustard, I think, on some chocolate chip cookies we made at church, which I would call blasphemy. Not even if we hadn't been at church, putting mustard on a chocolate chip cookie, that does officially count as it's cookie blasphemy. It may not be the most official blasphemy that you've ever heard of in the world, but to me, it's cookie baking blasphemy. I don't know. She committed a food crime today in front of me. The thing is, you hear Kristen talking about food crimes and you think, well, she's just being silly. No one would ever put mustard on all that stuff, but you guys, I hate to tell you, but I saw some food crimes involving, do not get Kristen around a squeezed bottle of mustard. She was not good, folks. Oh, Mr. Wee's banana, Mr. Wee's banana, banana, Mr. Wee's banana, banana, Mr. Wee's banana, 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 split Mr. Wee's banana. There's a local place making vegan basil ice cream. Ooh, okay. Basil has its place. I'm not the biggest basil fan, but in the right Italian dish, it can be wonderful. Basil ice cream? Oh, that does not sound good. I mean, the vegan part makes me very excited, but basil flavored ice cream sounds like, I actually don't think I would like that. Is that weird? Have you tried it, Krispy Kreme? Krispy Kreme, Krusty Krab, Kirsty Cookie, Kookie Tillman into chat. She's actually not driving home. She's able to chat. I'm so happy. Catch AJ Punk, don't encourage Kristen. Really? You brought that up again? You had to bring that up. I should bring a bottle of Kristen Cheyenne. She told some stuff to her teacher today. She called him a baldy, and she wonders why school can be rough some days, huh? Mustard smuggler. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Who would think? AJ Punk, you might be a rich man after Powerball. Ooh. Triple R, all the R's in the words, all the capital R's in words will be in all caps in honor of Triple R. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Guys, I think I want to, we did get the basil ice cream. It's very strong, honestly. It sounds really fun to try, but I mean, if you're gonna sit down to a delicious plate of ice or bowl of ice cream, do you want basil flavor? I would try a little sample of it and then move along. Okay, you know what? I do need to fix the cameras. Oh well. But for now, I think this is okay. For now, I'm just gonna wait, what do you guys see? You probably see the fence. Oh, I know what I can do. Here, a donkey cam for a little bit. He's having real troubles over here. There we go. What else? Oh, I got that. Guys, we have some especially good stuff. We really do have some especially good stuff. I'm hoping. Oh wait, no, this is Adele. This is from Mom Adele. Oh dear, he's just eating everything. Teeny is having a growth spurt. You guys, I don't know if she's going to be eating for much longer. Teeny seems like she is she's having a growth spurt. Here, I'm going gonna give Delph this red pepper was really for you, big girl. And then let's see, who else wants fennel? Do you guys want some fennel? Donkey, do you want fennel? What else? Okay, here's some more cilantro. Oh, we put lettuce. Okay, fair for those. Some for Donkey. Got some for Girl Second. Yeah, I was at church. So Wednesdays tend to be a little later. I was working with the children, along with Kristen, and our Triple R Ranch dressing girl. We were having a fun time. It was crazy. We were like, "Whoops, sorry, Teeny." I just beamed Teeny in the head. But yeah, guys, we had the kids making right hand handprints with paint, and we made cookies with our hands. We formed the dough into like the little balls and then smashed them down into cookie shapes. Because Sister Stephanie was talking about how with God, what is it? We're gonna be God's right hand man or something like that. It was really cute. Something like that. It was, you know what? It's hard to remember everything that happened because there were so many kids, and some of them needed more help than others. You know how that is. Certain age groups. No, it was all good. It was really fun. And then I heard there's an older gentleman that just has the loveliest singing voice, and sorry guys, I think I just flipped my camera around like 3 times. He's a lovely guitar player and just such a touching gentleman. And he talked about how in the space telescope, how they're seeing an object which is like 15 kilometers or 15 miles wide or something, and coming towards Earth. And he said, does anyone know the dimensions of heaven? Like what the Bible suggests the actual dimensions of heaven are. And he said something about, wait, not 15 miles, 15,000 miles is what the 15,000 by 15,000 is like supposed to be the conceptual size of heaven, the concept of heaven, and it has like a size attached to it. And he said that the object coming towards Earth was 15,000 miles wide by 15,000 miles. So it was, like the same dimensions. And he said that was the distance from like, oh gosh, imagine like Chicago to Miami or something. I think he said that was like 15,000 miles. So anyway, I don't know. Interesting concept, right? And so then he sang a song about, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the song, but, about heaven and heaven coming down. I think it was called something about like the concept of heaven coming down to the planet Earth. Oh, where's my YouTube go? There's my YouTube. Crystal, crystal with the K, special K. Oh, crystal, crystal, special K. We love our crystal with a K, special K. Oh, yes, all the live long day, special K. Gwynch, what do you think? We got all of our favorite people in the chat. We got 10 people. We got Prestorian, the fabulous, infamous giant Bunz historian. He's just driven in from Florian in his DeLorean while he's dressed as the Mandalorian. Mr. Prestorian. And he's listening to boring and along his accordion. With only one arm so he doesn't crash Mr. Prestorian. And when he gets home, he'll see his girlfriend who happens to be Salvadorian. And she's gonna make some more And then later, after they've eaten and they've listened to giant puns, they will all be a snoring. All right, guys. But yeah, starting a little bit later for anyone who was wondering, I was at church. It was very fun. It's always very fascinating and heartfelt. Just a great group of people. Is it 15,000 cubits? I know that, Christy, that's exactly what I think of when I've read, have you ever seen in the Old Testament how they talk about practical matters? Like, don't eat this food, don't eat that food. They give the ingredients and the amount for making incense, for making, like the incense that you would burn in the temples and stuff. They also give instructions on how to build, materials to use, and what the dimensions are for building, for building, oh gosh, what's the old word for, like tabernacles, temples, places of worship, I think you would say like a temple, right? Um, but anyway, I think cubits is exactly how they measure things back then, Crispy. So I can't remember exactly what the cubit translates to, but um, cubits. You're exactly right. Woody Woodloops, you got a headache, too many cookies. Oh, whoa, what? Too many cookies? Isn't that supposed to be a headache cure to have cookies? You know what you forgot? You need to have some tea with your cookies. Go make yourself a little caffeinated tea because caffeine can help you get rid of a headache, shake off a headache. Um, I have like 3 other drawings for you. What, Kristen? You were so busy eating mustard on. Okay, I think I saw you eating mustard on an apple. I don't want to remember. I think you were threatening to put mustard on the cookies that we made. Kristen, what are we gonna do with you? Kristen is gonna have a mustard overdose, which maybe that just will make her like throw up or something. You can freeze. Wait, what is it? You can freeze an ice cube or just flatten a cookie sheet and then break it up. And then you can add it to hot pasta or whatever you. Ooh. Did you save some pesto to freeze, Woodland Lou? Um, oh, because you made basil. Woody Woodland Loops made basil pesto. See, now that is what I like basil for. You make a pesto sauce with basil. Oh, I am all about that. I've also made it with when I've had a ton of oregano leaves. Like when I grow oregano, I've made it with oregano. I've made it with, I think, cilantro once. But basil, basil is what you know, that's the traditional way, and it's so delicious. Oh my gosh. Good on you, Woody Woodland Loops. And Christy does have a great idea for freezing some of the pesto. You still have some of it. Yeah, that is a good idea. Christy is full of good ideas, you guys. Have you ever had a headache? One like one side of your face. Oh, Kristen, I'm all about that type of headache. So for years I thought I had migraine headaches, and I think I might be a migraine person. Like that might be part of it. I don't really understand what causes migraines so much. I know there's a lot of different factors, but what I found out about myself is that once I went into physical therapy and got all these exercises and tricks to help my back, as soon as my back and pelvis would like pop back into alignment, it would it would stop the muscles from spasming. Like as soon as my back would get out of whack, my muscles would spasm on one side, on my left side. and it would trigger, go up my back, go up through my neck, and it would trigger my sinuses on one side to close up. So, yes, that is the kind of headaches that I get. They're usually on one side, but for me, it's actually related to my back not being happy and having back spasms, like muscle spasms. So, yeah, I just have to. That's why every night I spend a half an hour doing back exercises and stretches. Even if I'm tired, I just have to do it, or else the next morning I can wake up with like a headache and backache, which is so miserable to wake up like that. So I just don't chance it. Running helps it. Any kind of exercise helps it too. But yeah, Chris, to answer your question, Kristen, headaches are a big problem for me if I mean, and sometimes it can just be like dehydration and stress and, like allergies and all that kind of stuff. But I would, I would really urge anyone who thinks they just have headaches that are just, oh, it's just my head. It's usually like what they call referred pain. It's usually from like something else, like your back or something like, oh, you normally have caffeine every morning and you forgot to have some, and or you dehydrated, or stuff like that. And sometimes the wrong foods can really mess with you, like foods that your body doesn't like. Um, you had one today and yesterday. Well, the ragweed is probably started, right? But also just, yeah. And I saw you picking up a lot of like toddlers and babies and stuff. So watch your back with that, Kristen, because that can also throw your back out of whack. You prefer lemon basil? Ooh, lemon basil would make an amazing pesto. Yum. Um, Pastorian is good. Wheeze, just unwinding after work. Good stuff, guys. Yeah. I can't believe you have 3 more drawings for me though, Crispy. That's amazing. Could also be from clenching your jaw or tooth issues. Ooh, gosh, that is so true. The whole jaw thing. That makes a lot of sense. I've known a couple people who've come up. Do you ever hear about the TMJ, which is, like jaw problems? Like I know that definitely is going on, or that can go on. But yeah, if your teeth, if you have like some kind of infection that you don't realize, like with your teeth, it can go put pressure on your sinuses, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, crispy isn't ragweed going? Because I mean, no, it's that time. 1984 night. Oh yeah, AJ Punk. We are definitely. I missed doing 1984 last night, but we are gonna. I think we're on chapter 5, so we will do a full chapter. We'll do a full chapter, and we're gonna do it soon. I'm gonna grab my cup of coffee. Um, but yeah, oh, you know what? I did forget the sweet potato. It's okay. I'll feed them their sweet potato in the morning. Oh, I gotta go see Mama Delph. Wes, I got the new clothes washer hooked up. Laundry was getting backed up. Oh, good on you, Wes. It's a big deal. And believe me, Wes, I know the pain of not having working laundry. TMJ also messes with behind your ear. Ooh, totally. It's right in there, huh? Um, I'm gonna get my coffee. Look at that big boy. He's just such a pretty boy. Oh my gosh. I have to say, guys, I love these rabbits so much. I mean, I know that it's like you would think, oh, I'm just used to these rabbits, but I mean, they're just. I mean, look at this. Look at this. We're all on our blankie, our pled blankie. Here, the coffee cup. Yeah, if my brother would ever tune in to Giant Buns, he would see that the lovely fancy blanket he gave me is now being laid upon by rabbits. All right, guys. All right, everyone. Are we ready to get read to? Huh? Is that what we want? Yes. Oh, look at this. Make sure no one knocks my coffee. Who's giving me these? This guy right here? What a sweetheart. Oh my gosh. These snuggle bunnies. Well, I can't read yet. I've gotta go see these babies. These babies right here. Aw, such cuties. What? Is it fun to hide in the little bunny box? Yes. Guys, we had another beautiful day. Hmm, day 1, 2, 3, day 3 of ballet, back in the ballet season, and my calves are absolutely on fire. The good news is, though, is that nothing else is sore. Like the rest of me stayed in shape. The only thing that wasn't strong enough over the summer is my calf muscles were just not getting enough to be strong enough for ballet, but it'll be okay. By next week, I think I'm gonna be good to go. Look at this. Look at that stoic man. Look at that. Look at that stoic man bun. Yes. Are you a big bunny statue? Look at Donkers. I love you. Donkey, Cookie. Oh, they all got cookies this morning. They were so happy. Yes. Hey, guys, look at these cuties. We're gonna all three snuggle. Yes. Look at these guys. Oh, yeah, cute as a button. Cute as a button. Oh my gosh, you guys, Funky Bones was back again. She hung out for a couple hours in the yard. She brought her baby. She brought I think her sister, and they were all hanging out. And the baby was like, "Oh, what are you doing to my phone? I was trying to read the chat on that phone. Are you?" Uh-oh, Teeny is disabling the chat. Or did you do that? Or did you want petties? Did you? Oh, are you going to try to get in the bunny pileup? Oh, she's kicking. She kicked Jabba. She kicked. Oh, because she has to flop over on the vent. Did she kick you? She kicked you. I saw that. Teeny, we all saw you kicked Jabba. Look at Jabba. She's like, I'm trying to get back. I want to get back. Oh my gosh. Oh, look, Jabba's taking it. She's like, no, I'm taking it back. I'm taking the vent back, and I can cover the whole thing with my big body. She's like, I'm rectangling out over the entire vent, people. I'm sorry, chat. What is going on here? Geez, Captain Kira is looking extra pretty tonight. What? Holy smokes. Oh my sweet man. Very sweet. Oh my gosh. Um, imagine Dusty on coffee. Oh, Hulan Mall. Dusty was in a very large box, and I can't remember what came in it, but it was something heavy. And so it's like one of those really solid boxes, it almost feels like wood. And I put it downstairs for them to play in. Well, she spent hours tearing into it. And she finally actually excavated a whole big, hole in the bottom. I don't know how for me, I would have had to use like a carpet knife or something, but she was loving it because she loves a challenge. She loves a project, she's a builder. And, but the noise that she was making, I tried to take a phone call in the house. I had to go walk outside. She was just too loud. Um, Day 3 of looking for Funky Bones. Wish me luck. But you guys, Funky Bones, yes, with her little baby. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was simply heavenly in the yard with these tame little deer. Well, Funky is tame. Her baby is also kind of following suit and is coming up to me more. Um, because the baby was initially more shy with me and it would run off if I came towards him. But no, don't. Oh, now she kicked her mother out of her spot. Oh boy. But yeah, it's really amazing. And she hasn't taken the apples out of my hand yet or out of my mouth. Funky Bones still hasn't done that, but she came pretty close to taking one out of my hand. But I'm not going to push her. We need a poncho for Donkey. You guys, they had me because I was wearing my nice dress and everything to church. They bought a plastic poncho for me to wear to help the children with their finger painting and cookie making. All this. It was so adorable. So adorable. Yeah, we'll get Donkey does need a poncho with a hood with holes in it for his ears. Um, you miss Jace, yeah, I know. It's so ridiculous that his channel got taken down. Poor guy. Some kind of mass blocking the air vent. Yes, what happened to the airflow in here? Jabatini. Yeah, you teeny little weasel face. You're a little weasel rabbit. Yeah. Oh, you're getting petted. Oh, she got pets. She hates it. She absolutely hates pets. Oh, she nosed me. She bopped my hand away. Okay. Tough crowd. Tough crowd, Teeny. Good grief, man. Fun. Um, but guys, let's let's hop into 1984 because it is, I started a little later, so we don't want I'm having a hard time with energy because of ballet and getting up real early again. I was kind of cheating over the summer and I would set my alarm for 6:30 and I would be up a little bit and then I'd fall asleep again and I was actually getting more sleep. Not anymore. Okay, let me see where. Let's see, so far, it's the browser. No, that's not it. That's not it. 1984. La la la. Okay, let's see if here I can find. Ah, there we go. Let's see. Oh, okay, I just need to find chapters on here. Hi. Hi. Hey. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's Delph. I was like, wait, why are you ripping at my dress? That's what Delph does. Uh-oh, Delphi wants. She wants petties. How am I gonna? Okay, I'll figure it out, guys. I'll figure it out. I think if I I prop up the phone here. I can read from here. Yes, yes, and then I can pet Delph. Yeah, I'm gonna pet you. I'm gonna pet you. Don't you worry. But Delphi, I do. No, wait. I do have to find the correct part. Uh, why is it not telling me which chapter we're on? Yes, yes, I know this is 1984. Very good, very good. Free ebook. Yes, yeah, oh gosh. Chapter 2. No, no, no. We are way past that. Okay. We are way past that. I think I'm gonna start bringing my laptop in here again, you guys, because I wanna be able to see the chat even though I'm reading, but, oh, Delph, oh, Delphi, I am gonna pet you. Okay, I'm gonna take a little petting break, and I'm gonna try to find the chapter. Oh, Delph, oh boy. She does not care that I'm wearing a nice dress. Look at her. This is all Delph wants in the world. She just wants the love from her mama. And she will also accept petting from like pretty much anyone. She loves to get love. And she is a special little lady, this girl right here. She's a special little lady. Okay. Chapter 4. Okay. Um, yeah, I think we are in chapter 5. So 1 second. I don't know why my phone, usually it goes right to the chapter where we left off, but who knows? I think Teeny was messing with my phone, as she likes to do. Okay. Chapter 5. Yes, here we go. Chapter 5. The low Perfect. In the low-ceilinged canteen, deep underground, the lunch queue jerked slowly forward. The room was already full and deafeningly noisy. From the grill at the counter, the steam of stew came pouring forth, with a sour metallic smell which did not quite overcome. Uh-oh, someone's blocking the book. Okay, hi Jabba. Hey, are you looking for I think she might be looking for more food. It's so cute. So, but yes, the grill. From the grill at the counter, the steam of stew came pouring forth, with a sour metallic smell which did not quite overcome the fumes of Victory gin. My gosh, they're serving gin in the work cafeteria? On the far side of the room, there was a small bar, a mere hole in the wall, where gin could be bought at 10 cents the large nip. Just the man I was looking for, said a voice at Winston's back. He turned round. It was his friend, Syme, Syme, who worked in the research department. Perhaps friend was not exactly the right word. You did not have friends nowadays, you had comrades. But there were some comrades whose society was pleasanter than of others. Syme was a philologist, a specialist in newspeak. Indeed, the enormous team of experts now engaged in compiling the 11th edition of the Newspeak Dictionary. He was a tiny creature, smaller than Winston, with dark hair and large protuberant eyes, at once mournful and derisive, which seemed to search your face closely while he was speaking to you. I wanted to ask you whether you'd got any razor blades, he said. Not one, said Winston, with a sort of guilty haste. I've tried all over the place. They don't exist any longer. Everyone kept asking you for razor blades. Actually, he had 2 unused ones which he was hoarding up. There had been a famine of them for months past. At any given moment, there was some necessary article which the party shops were unable to supply. Sometimes it was buttons, sometimes it was darning wool, sometimes it was shoelaces. At present, it was razor blades. You could only get hold of them, if at all, by scrounging more or less furtively on the free market. I've been using the same blade for 6 weeks, he added untruthfully. The queue gave another jerk forward. As they halted, he turned and faced Syme again. Each of them took a greasy metal tray from a pile at the end of the counter. "Did you go and see the prisoners hanged yesterday?" said Syme. "I was working," said Winston indifferently. "I shall see it on the flicks, I suppose." "A very inadequate substitute," said Syme. His mocking eyes roved over Winston's face. "I know you," the eyes seemed to say. "I see through you. I know very well why you didn't go to see those prisoners hanged." In an intellectual way, Syme was venomously orthodox. He would talk with a disagreeable, gloating satisfaction of helicopter raids on enemy villages and trials and confessions of thought criminals, the executions in the cellars of the Ministry of Love. Talking to him was largely a matter of getting him away from the subjects and entangling him, if possible, in the technicalities of news speak, on which he was authoritative and interesting. Winston turned his head a little aside, to avoid the scrutiny of the large dark eyes. "It was a good hanging," said Syme reminiscently. "I think it spoils it when they tie their feet together. I like to see them kicking. And above all, at the end, the tongue sticking right out, and blue, quite bright blue. That's the detail that appeals to me." "Next, please," yelled the white apron troll with the ladle. Winston and Syme pushed their trays beneath the grill. Onto each was dumped swiftly the regulation lunch, a metal pannikin of pinkish-gray stew, a hunk of bread, a cube of cheese, a mug of milkless Victory coffee, and one saccharin tablet. "There's a table over there under that telescreen," said Syme. "Let's pick up a gin on the way." The gin was served out to them in handleless china mugs. They threaded their way across the crowded room and unpacked their trays onto the metal top table, on one corner of which someone had left a pool of stew, a filthy liquid mess that had the appearance of vomit. Winston took up his mug of gin, paused for an instant to collect his nerve, and gulped the oily tasting stuff down. When he had winked the tears out of his eyes, he suddenly discovered that he was hungry. He began swallowing spoonfuls of the stew, which, among its general sloppiness, had cubes of spongy pinkish stuff, which was probably a preparation of meat. Neither of them spoke again till they had emptied their pannikins. From the table at Winston's left, a little behind his back, someone was talking rapidly and continuously, a harsh gabble almost like the quacking of a duck, which pierced the general uproar of the room. "How is the dictionary getting on?" said Winston, raising his voice to overcome the noise. "Slowly," said Syme. "I'm on the adjectives. It's fascinating." He had brightened up immediately at the mention of news speak. He pushed his pannikin aside, took up his hunk of bread in one delicate hand and his cheese in the other, and leaned across the table so as to be able to speak without shouting. "The 11th edition is the definitive edition," he said. "We're getting the language into its final shape, the shape that it's going to have when nobody speaks anything else. When we've finished with it, people like you will have to learn it all over again. You think, I dare say, that our chief job is inventing new words, but not a bit of it. We're destroying words. Scores of them, hundreds of them, every day. We're cutting the language down to the bone. The 11th edition won't contain a single word that will become obsolete before the year 2050. bit hungrily into his bread, swallowed a couple of mouthfuls, then continued speaking with sort of a pedant's passion. His thin, dark face had become animated. His eyes had lost their mocking expression and grown almost dreamy. It's a beautiful thing, the destruction of words. Of course, the great wastage is in the verbs and adjectives, but there are hundreds of nouns that can be got rid of as well. It isn't only the synonyms, there's also the antonyms. After all, what justification is there for a word which is simply the opposite of some other word? A word contains its opposite in itself. Take good, for instance. If you have a word like good, what need is there for a word like bad? Ungood will do just as well. Better because it's an exact opposite, which the other is not. Or again, if you want a stronger version of good, what sense is there in having a whole string of vague, useless words like excellent and splendid and all the rest of them? Plus good covers the meaning. Or double plus good if you want something stronger still. Of course, we use those forms already, but in the final version of Newspeak, there'll be nothing else. In the end, the whole notion of goodness and badness will be covered by only 6 words. In reality, only 1 word. Don't you see the beauty of that, Winston? It was BB's idea originally, of course, he added as an afterthought. Sort of vapid eagerness flitted across Winston's face at the mention of Big Brother. Nevertheless, Syme immediately detected a certain lack of enthusiasm. You haven't a real appreciation for Newspeak, Winston, he said, almost sadly. Even when you write it, you're still thinking in old speak. I've read some of those pieces that you write in the Times occasionally. They're good enough, but they're translations. In your heart, you'd prefer to stick to old speak with all of its vagueness and its useless shades of meaning. You don't grasp the beauty of the destruction of words. Do you know that Newspeak is the only language in the world whose vocabulary gets smaller every year? Winston did know that, of course. He smiled sympathetically, he hoped, not trusting himself to speak. Syme bit off a fragment of the dark-colored bread, chewed it briefly, and went on. Don't you see that the whole aim of Newspeak is to narrow the range of thought? In the end, we shall make thought crime literally impossible because there will be no words in which to express it. Every concept that can ever be needed will be expressed by exactly 1 word, with its meaning rigidly defined and all of its subsidiary meanings rubbed out and forgotten. Already in the 11th edition, we are not far from that point, but process will still be continuing long after you and I are dead. Every year, fewer and fewer words, and the range of consciousness always a little smaller. Even now, of course, there's no reason or excuse for committing thought crime. It's merely a question of self discipline, reality control. But in the end, there won't be any need even for that. The revolution will be complete when the language is perfect. Newspeak is Ingsoc, and Ingsoc is Newspeak, he added with a sort of mystical satisfaction. Has it ever occurred to you, Winston, that by the year 2050, at the very latest, not a single human being will be alive who could understand such a conversation as we are having now? Except, began Winston doubtfully, and he stopped. It had been on the tip of his tongue to say, except the proles, but he checked himself, not feeling certain that this remark was not in some way unorthodox. Syme, however, had divined what he was about to say. The proles are not human beings, he said carelessly. By 2050, earlier probably, all real knowledge of Old Speak will have disappeared. The whole literature of the past will have been destroyed. Chaucer, Shakespeare, Milton, Byron, they'll exist only in Newspeak versions, not merely changed into something different, but actually changed into something contradictory of what they used to be. Even the literature of the party will change. Even the slogans will change. How could you have a slogan like freedom is slavery when the concept of freedom has been abolished? The whole climate of thought will be different. In fact, there will be no thought as we understand it now. Orthodoxy means not thinking, not needing to think. Orthodoxy is unconsciousness. One of these days, thought Winston with sudden deep conviction, Syme will be vaporized. He's too intelligent. He sees too clearly and speaks too plainly. The party does not like such people. One day he will disappear. It is written in his face. Winston had finished his bread and cheese. He turned a little sideways in his chair to drink his mug of coffee. At the table on his left, the man with the strident voice who was still talking remorselessly. Oh, the man with the strident voice was still talking remorselessly away. A young woman who was perhaps his secretary and who was sitting with her back to Winston was listening to him and seemed to be eagerly agreeing with everything that he said. From time to time, Winston caught some remark as, "I think you're so right. I do so agree with you," uttered in a youthful and rather silly feminine voice. But the other voice never stopped for an instant, even when the girl was speaking. Winston knew the man by sight, though he knew no more about him than that he held some important post in the fiction department. He was a man of about 30, with a muscular throat and a large mobile mouth. His head was thrown back a little, and because of the angle at which he was sitting, his spectacles caught the light and presented to Winston two blank discs instead of eyes. What was slightly horrible was that from the stream of sound that poured out of his mouth, it was almost impossible to distinguish a single word. Just once, Winston caught a phrase, caught a phrase, complete and final elimination of Goldsteinism, jerked out very rapidly and, as it seemed, all in one piece, like a line of typecast solid. For the rest, it was just a noise, a quack, quack, quacking. And yet, though you could not actually hear what the man was saying, you could not be in any doubt about its general nature. He might be denouncing Goldstein and demanding sterner measures against thought criminals and saboteurs. He might be fulminating against the atrocities of the Eurasian army. He might be praising Big Brother or the heroes of the Malabar Front. It made no difference. Whatever it was, you could be certain that every word of it was pure orthodoxy, pure ingsa. As he watched the eyeless face with the jaw moving rapidly up and down, Winston had a curious feeling that this was not a real human being, but some kind of dummy. It was not the man's brain that was speaking, it was his larynx. The stuff that was coming out of him consisted of words, but it was not speech in the true sense. It was a noise uttered in unconsciousness, like the quacking of a duck. Syme had fallen silent for a moment, and with the handle of his spoon was tracing patterns in the puddle of stew. The voice from the other table quacked rapidly on, easily audible, in spite of the surrounding din. "There is a word in Newspeak," said Syme. "I don't know whether you know it. Duck speak. To quack like a duck. It is one of those interesting words that have two contradictory meanings. Applied to an opponent, it is abuse. Applied to someone you agree with, it is praise. Unquestionably, Syme will be vaporized, Winston thought again. He thought it with a kind of sadness, although well knowing that Syme despised him and slightly disliked him, and was fully capable of denouncing him as a thought criminal if he saw any reason for doing so. There was something subtly wrong with Syme. There was something that he lacked: discretion, aloofness, a sort of saving stupidity. You could not say that he was you could not say that he was unorthodox. He believed in the principles of Ingsoc. He venerated Big Brother. He rejoiced over victories. He hated heretics, not merely with sincerity, but with a sort of restless zeal and up-to-dateness of information which the ordinary party member did not approach. Yet a faint air of disreputability always clung to him. He said things that would have been better unsaid. He had read too many books. He frequented the Chestnut Tree Cafe, haunt of painters and musicians. There was no law, not even an unwritten law, against frequenting the Chestnut Tree Cafe, yet the place was somehow ill-omened. The old discredited leaders of the party had been used to gathering there before they were finally purged. Goldstein himself, it was said, had sometimes been seen there, years and decades ago. Syme's fate was not difficult to foresee, and yet it was a fact that if Syme grasped, even for 3 seconds, the nature of his, Winston's, secret opinions, he would betray him instantly to the thought police. So would anybody else for that matter, but Syme more than most. Zeal was not enough. Orthodoxy was unconsciousness. Syme looked up. "Here comes Parsons," he said. Something in the tone of his voice seemed to add, "That bloody fool." Parsons. Winston's fellow tenant at Victory Mansions was in fact threading his way across the room, a tubby, middle-sized man with fair hair and a frog-like face. At 35, he was already putting on rolls of fat at neck and waistline, but his movements were brisk and boyish. His whole appearance was that of a little boy grown large, so much so that although he was wearing the regulation overalls, it was almost impossible not to think of him as being dressed in the blue shorts, gray shirt, and red neckerchief of the spies. In visualizing him, one saw always a picture of dimpled knees and sleeves rolled back from pudgy forearms. Parsons did indeed invariably revert to shorts when a community hike or any other physical activity gave him an excuse for doing so. He greeted them both with a cheery "hello, hello," and sat down at the table, giving off an intense smell of sweat. Beads of moisture stood out all over his pink face. His powers of sweating were extraordinary. At the community center, you could always tell when he had been playing table tennis by the dampness of the bat handle. Syme had produced a strip of paper on which there was a long column of words and was studying it with an ink pencil between his fingers. "Look at him working away in the lunch hour," said Parsons, nudging Winston. "Keenness, eh? What's that you've got there, old boy? Something a bit too brainy for me, I expect." "Smith, old boy, I'll tell you why I'm chasing you. It's that sub you forgot to give me." "Which sub is that?" said Winston, automatically feeling for money. About a quarter of one's salary had to be earmarked for voluntary subscriptions, which were so numerous that it was difficult to keep track of them. "For Hate Week, the House by House Fund. I'm treasurer for our block. We're making an all-out effort, going to put on a tremendous show, I tell you. It won't be my fault if old Victory Mansions doesn't give the biggest outfit of flags in the whole street. $2, you promised me." Winston found and handed over 2 creased and filthy notes, which Parsons entered in a small notebook. in the neat handwriting of the illiterate. "By the way, old boy," he said, "I hear that little beggar of mine let fly at you with his catapult yesterday. I gave him a good dressing down for it. In fact, I told him I'd take the catapult away if he does it again." "I think he was a little upset at not going to the execution," said Winston. "Ah, well, what I mean to say, shows the right spirit, doesn't it? Mischievous little beggars they are, both of them. But talk about keenness. All they think about is the spies and the war, of course. Do you know what that little girl of mine did last Saturday when her troop was on a hike out Berkhamsted Way? She got two other girls to go with her, slipped off from the hike, spent the whole afternoon following a strange man. He kept on his tail for 2 hours, right through the woods, and then, when they got into Amersham, handed him over to the patrols. What did they do? What did they do that for?" said Winston, somewhat taken aback. Parsons went on triumphantly. "My kid made sure he was some kind of enemy agent. Might have been dropped by parachute, for instance. But here's the point, old boy. What do you think put her on to him in the first place? She spotted he was wearing a funny kind of shoes. Said she'd never seen anyone wearing shoes like that before. So the chances were he was a foreigner. Pretty smart for a nipper of 7, eh?" "What happened to the man?" said Winston. "Ah, that I couldn't say, of course, but I would be altogether surprised if Parsons made the motion of aiming a rifle and clicked his tongue for the explosion." "Good," said Syme abstractly, without looking up from his strip of paper. "Of course, we can't afford to take chances," agreed Winston dutifully. "What I mean to say, there is a war on," said Parsons. As though in confirmation of this, a trumpet call floated from the telescreen just above their heads. However, it was not the proclamation of a military victory this time, but merely an announcement from the Ministry of Plenty. "Comrades," cried an eager youthful voice, "attention, comrades! We have glorious news for you. We have won the battle for production. Returns now completed. The output of all classes of consumption goods show that the standard of living has risen by no less than 20% over the past year. All over Oceania this morning there were irrepressible, spontaneous demonstrations when workers marched out of factories and offices and paraded through the streets with banners voicing their gratitude to Big Brother for the new, happy life which his wise leadership has bestowed upon us. Here are some of the completed figures. Foodstuffs. The phrase, "our new happy life," recurred several times. It had been a favorite of late with the Ministry of Plenty. Parsons, his attention caught by the trumpet call, sat listening with a sort of gaping solemnity, sort of edified boredom. He could not follow the figures, but he was aware that they were in some way a cause for satisfaction. He had lugged out a huge and filthy pipe which was already half full of charred tobacco. With the tobacco ration at 100 grams a week, it was seldom possible to fill a pipe to the top. Winston was smoking a victory cigarette, which he held carefully horizontal. The new ration did not start till tomorrow, and he had only 4 cigarettes left. For the moment, he had shut his ears to the remoter noises and was listening to the stuff that streamed out of the telescreen. It appeared that there had even been demonstrations to thank Big Brother for raising the chocolate ration to 20 grams a week. And only yesterday, he reflected, it had been announced that the ration was to be reduced to 20 grams a week. Was it possible that they could swallow that after only 24 hours? Yes, they swallowed it. Parsons swallowed it easily with the stupidity of an animal. The eyeless creature at the other table swallowed it fanatically, passionately, with a furious desire to track down, denounce, and vaporize anyone who should suggest that last week the ration had been 30 grams. Syme, too. In some more complex way involving doublethink, Syme swallowed it. Was he then alone in the possession of a memory? Ooh, I just made there we go. The fabulous statistics continued to pour out of the telescreen. As compared with last year, there was more food, more clothes, more houses, more furniture, more cooking pots, more fuel, more ships, more helicopters, more books, more babies, more of everything except disease, crime, and insanity. Year by year and minute by minute, everybody and everything was whizzing rapidly upwards. As Syme had done earlier, Winston had taken up his spoon and was dabbling in the pale-colored gravy that dribbled across the table, drawing a long streak of it out into a pattern. He meditated resentfully on the physical texture of life. Had it always been like this? Had food always tasted like this? He looked round the canteen, a low-ceilinged, crowded room, its walls grimy from the contact of innumerable bodies, battered metal tables and chairs placed so close together that you sat with elbows touching, bent spoons, dented trays, coarse white mugs, all surfaces greasy, grime in every crack, and a sourish, composite smell of bad gin and bad coffee, and metallic stew and dirty clothes. Always in your stomach and in your skin, there was a sort of protest, a feeling that you had been cheated of something that you had a right to. It was true that he had no memories of anything greatly different in any time that he could actually accurately remember. There had never been quite enough to eat. One had never had socks or underclothes that were not full of holes. Furniture had always been battered and rickety, rooms underheated, tube trains crowded, houses falling to pieces, bread dark-colored, tea a rarity, coffee filthy tasting, cigarettes insufficient, nothing cheap and plentiful except synthetic gin. And though, of course, it grew worse as one's body aged, was it not a sign that this was not the natural order of things? If one's heart sickened at the discomfort and dirt and scarcity, the interminable winters, the stickiness of one's socks, the lifts that never worked, the cold water, the gritty soap, the cigarettes that came to pieces, the food with its strange evil tastes. Why should one feel it to be intolerable unless one had some kind of ancestral memory that things had once been different? He looked round the canteen again. I just, oh, there we go. He looked round the canteen again. Nearly everyone was ugly. He would still have been ugly even if dressed otherwise than in the uniform blue overalls. On the far side of the room, sitting at a table alone, a small, curiously beetle-like man was drinking a cup of coffee, his little eyes darting suspicious glances from side to side. How easy it was, thought Winston, if you did not look about you, to believe that the physical type set up by the party as an ideal, tall, muscular youths and deep-bosomed maidens, blonde-haired, vital, sunburnt, carefree, existed and even predominated. Actually, so far as he could judge, the majority of people in Airstrip 1 were small, dark, and ill-favored. It was curious how that beetle-like type proliferated in the ministries, little dumpy men growing stout very early in life, with short legs, swift, scuttling movements, and fat, inscrutable faces with very small eyes. It was the type that seemed to flourish best under the dominion of the party. Oh, it's the next. Okay. The announcement from the Ministry of Plenty ended on another trumpet call and gave way to tinny music. Parsons, stirred to vague enthusiasm by the bombardment of figures, took his pipe out of his mouth. The Ministry of Plenty has certainly done a good job this year, he said, with a knowing shake of his head. By the way, Smith, old boy, I suppose you haven't got any razor blades you can let me have. Not one, said Winston. I've been using the same blade for 6 weeks myself. Ah, well, just thought I'd ask you, old boy. Sorry, said Winston. The quacking voice from the next table, temporarily silenced during the ministry's announcement, had started up again, as loud as ever. For some reason, Winston suddenly found himself thinking of Mrs. Parsons with her wispy hair and the dust in the creases of her face. Within 2 years, those children would be denouncing her to the thought police. Mrs. Parsons would be vaporized. Stein would be vaporized. Winston would be vaporized. Brian would be vaporized. Parsons, on the other hand, would never be vaporized. The eyeless creature with the quacking voice would never be vaporized. The little bee-like men who scuttle so nimbly through the labyrinthine corridors of ministries, they too would never be vaporized. And the girl with dark hair, the girl from the fiction department, she would never be vaporized either. It seemed to him that he knew instinctively who would survive and who would perish. Though just what it was that made for survival, it was not easy to say. At this moment, he was dragged out of his reverie with a violent jerk. The girl at the next table had turned partly round and was looking at him. It was the girl with the dark hair. She was looking at him in a sidelong way, but with curious intensity. The instant she caught his eye, she looked away again. The sweat started out on Winston's backbone. A horrible pang of terror went through him. It was gone almost at once, but it left sort of a nagging uneasiness behind. Why was she watching him? Why did she keep following him about? Unfortunately, he could not remember whether she had already been at the table when he arrived or had come there afterwards. But yesterday, at any rate, during the 2 minutes' hate, she had sat immediately behind him when there was no apparent need to do so. Quite likely her real object had been to listen to him and make sure whether he was shouting loudly enough. His earlier thought returned to him. Probably she was not actually a member of the thought police, but then it was precisely the amateur spy who was the greatest danger of all. He did not know how long she had been looking at him, but perhaps for as much as 5 minutes, and it was possible that his features had not been perfectly under control. It was terribly dangerous to let your thoughts wander when you were in any public place or within range of a telescreen. The smallest thing could give you away. A nervous tic, an unconscious look of anxiety, a habit of muttering to yourself, anything that carried with it the suggestion of abnormality or having something to hide. In any case, to wear an improper expression on your face, to look incredulous when a victory was announced, for example, was itself a punishable offense. And there was even a word for it in newspeak. Face crime, it was called. The girl had turned her back on him again. Perhaps, after all, she was not really following him about. Perhaps it was coincidence that she had sat so close to him 2 days running. His cigarette had gone out, and he had laid it carefully on the edge of the table. He would finish smoking it after work, if he could keep the tobacco in it. Quite likely the person at the next table was a spy of the thought police. Quite likely he would be in the cellars of the Ministry of Love within 3 days. But a cigarette end must not be wasted. Simon had folded up the strip of paper and stowed it away in his pocket. Parsons had begun talking again. "Did I ever tell you, old boy," he said, chuckling round the stem of his pipe, "about the time when those two nippers of mine set fire to the old market woman's skirt because they saw her wrapping up sausages in a poster of BB? Sneaked up behind her and set fire to it with a box of matches. Burned her quite badly, I believe. Little beggars, eh? But keen as mustard. That's a first-rate training they give them in the spies nowadays, better than in my day even. Wouldn't you even think the latest thing they've served them out with? Ear trumpets for listening through keyholes. My little girl brought one home the other night, tried it out on our sitting room door, and reckoned she could hear twice as much as with her ear to the hole. Of course, it's only a toy, mind you. She gives them the right idea, eh?" At this moment, the telescreen let out a piercing whistle. It was the signal to return to work. All three men sprang to their feet to join in the struggle round the lifts, and the remaining tobacco fell out of Winston's cigarette. Wow, that's the end of chapter 5, you guys. That that was pretty long. That was pretty long. Let me get back to oh boy, still having trouble using this phone. Get back to the YouTube. All right, guys, let's see. There we go. Hey, we have 8 people who are listening. Great book, I know, right? I'm really happy to be reading this to you guys. Thanks, Crystal. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this. Yeah, it's really interesting. Very interesting. Cookie. Yes. Really makes you think, you know? Can I make some more hybrid animal drawings? You should, Kristen. I think those are so cool. Oh, I was going to show you guys the paper version that Kristen gave me that of the latest artwork he made. Use Okay, I'm gonna go grab Kristen's artwork. 1 second, and my phone is starting to run out of battery. Oh my gosh, my muscles do not want to work in my calves. Oh, oh, good. Let's pray that I didn't put in here any pink bunnies. Here, I'll be right back. Oh my gosh, it was up here. Oh, silly me, silly me. But now I just need phones. All right. What animal? Okay. Like stretch. I want to make a giant fun video game. Oh my gosh, do you really? Mr. Woody Woodley? He's awesome. That would be so awesome. You should make a giant Bunz game. A giant Bunz game where you play as donkey and try to rescue the other bunnies. Oh, that would be so fun, guys. That would be so much fun. Oh my gosh, my phone is running out of battery. Um, or how about giant Bunz cart? Like that would be so fun. You still have paint on your hands. Okay, guys, before my phone runs out of batteries, this is Kristen Cheyenne Star, Triple R. I don't know if I have enough light in here to show this. Oh my gosh, I think I need to. Can you guys see this? This is the raccoon bunny hybrid. Oh, do not eat her artwork, Posh. This is Funky Bones and her babies. This is a Welsh Corgi stag. I love this. And then there's just a cute bunny. It's just a very adorable cartoon style cutie bunny. But yeah, I feel like these could be like adorable cartoon characters. But guys, I'm gonna before my phone that's doing the camera dies, I want to say goodnight to everyone. Are you going to run tonight? Oh, you're so AJ, you're like that is exactly what I Hey, Delph. I hope that this camera is working. My phone just died. The phone that I was using as my camera, so I don't have the chat in front of me now because I had to I had to switch to this one. But yeah, I wanted to say goodnight to everyone. And but AJ, you were saying like, am I gonna run? Normally I would. I can't because my calf muscles from I just did three days of ballet starting Monday, and I can barely walk down the stairs. I can walk up the stairs just fine, but my calves, with ballet, you like super focus on your calf muscles. And I've been doing a lot of balances on my toes, and I've been doing, just pointing my feet a ton. And the running didn't prepare my calf muscles and feet for getting back into ballet. So I'm suffering, and I cannot run. I would love to because the weather is beautiful. I'm just I'm gonna make like a healthy fruit smoothie, eat a little bit of my leftover burrito, and then I literally am just gonna have to wait for my calves to heal because I am in pain. My little calf muscles. And I like soaked them in the tub for a couple minutes, but yeah, these babies they are basically on fire in pain and soreness. But Jabba, Jabba, here, let's say hi to Teeny. You're actually being super cute. Kind of came up and sat. Oh, look at this. She's being able to be petted. Oh, Teeners. Look at what? Are you like a domestic tame rabbit all the Look at this. This is the most I've ever petted Teeny, I think. Maybe she liked the book. Do you like being read to? Oh, she's a little scholar. Look at her. She's gonna do a comparative literature chat with everyone in the giant Bunz chat about the novel 1984. She's loving it. Look at her. It has turned her into a little scholarly, chill bunny rabbit. You guys, I've never been able to pet her this much. Oh gosh, wow. Okay, I need to read to Teeny more. But here's our sweet boy donkey. But I think I should still be able to, you know what? I'll play a finishing song. Oh my gosh. So sore, so sore. I will play a finishing song and I will give this boy some pets while we play our song. So I will leave this phone with you, donkey, and I'll be able to look at the chat when I run downstairs. Having a little bit of a technical difficulty. Oh boy.
Out in the yard when the moon is high. Oh yeah. There's a deer named Funky Bones. Don't be shy. He tiptoes softly, looking for a treat. Captain Kira's got apples good enough to eat. Oh yeah. Funky Bones with his groove, moving to the beat. Kira's got the apples, they're so sweet. Coming close, just a nibble. Don't be afraid. Look at them dance. It's a backyard rave. Funky Bones, Funky Bones. Don't you hide. Kira's got the apples open wide. Funky Bones, Funky Bones. It's a funky party, just you and me. Under the stars, they share a little bite. Ooh, yeah. Captain Kira and Funky Bones feeling right. With every step, the friendship grows. A funky connection, everybody knows. Now every night, when the moon is high, ooh, yeah. Kira's in the yard, Funky Bones nearby. Ooh. They share a moment in the cool night air. A funky kind of magic only they can share. Hey. Funky Bones, don't you bones, don't you hide. Ooh, yeah. Kira's got the apples open wide. Coming close, just a nibble, don't be afraid. No afraid. Look at them dogs, Funky Bones, don't you hide. Ooh, yeah. Kira's got the apples. Funky Bones, Funky Bones. Ooh, yeah. It's a funky party, just you and me. Hey, hey, Under the stars. grows. They share a little bite. Captain Kira and Funky Bones feeling right. With every step, the friendship grows. Funky connection. Everybody knows now every night when the moon is high. Kira's in the yard, Funky Bones nearby. They share a moment in the cool night air. Funky kind of magic only they can share. Funky Bones, Funky Bones, don't you hide. Kira's got the apples open wide. Share a moment in the cool night air. Funky kind of magic only they can share.
Little gray luncheon on that hay. Chewing, skipping, never stays. Backyard wild, gotta play. Jumping, running every day. Grass is green under the sky. Little gray lets it all fly. Muddy paws, you don't care why. Wings of earth, the air so high. Freedom in his furry flight. Sun and moon is only guide. No more walls, no cage inside. Little gray so wild inside. Boss and grind, he's on the move. No one's rules, he's got his groove. Nature's beat, he feels the soothe. Little gray always to prove.